Okay, we are live here from Rowlett for the Port Allegany Gators varsity baseball, hosting the Smethport Hubbers. We were due to play the Smethport Hubbers in Smethport, but the field conditions caused the game to be moved to Rowlett. So we're just getting ready to get started here. Kellen Vayu will bat leadoff for the Gators. Owen Roundsville on the mound for the Hubbers. First pitch is a ball inside, 1-0 count. So on Wednesday, we broadcast Port Allegany and Coudersport, where Port Allegany defeated Coudersport and won the Northern Allegany Conference. Swing and a miss for Vayu, so that makes it a 1-1 count. Good off-speed pitch by Roundsville. Vayu with a shot down the third base line. That's going to go foul. So it's going to be a 1-2 count to Vayu. Roundsville checks the signs. Inside to Vayu. 2-2 now. Vayu smacks that to the first baseman and goes past the first baseman Burdick for a single. So the Gators have their leadoff batter on base. That's going to bring up the number 2 batter, Nick Wilfong. Gators are missing a couple players today, so the lineup may look a little bit different. So Wilfong steps in to face Roundsville. Vayu on first, nobody out. Vayu takes off. Wilfong with a shot to center. Vayu's going to round second, head for third. The relay. So the Gators have runners at first and third. Good shot by Nick Wilfong. So Derek Smith, normally the number 4 batter, he's going to slide up a spot to the 3 hole. So the Gators are in business with nobody out. Wilfong will probably head to second on this pitch. Good hit and run the last play. I don't know if that was a design call or... The throw down, and that's cut off by the second baseman. So the Gators have runners at second and third. 2 runners in scoring position. Smith with a hit down the third baseline, foul. Smith hits it to the third baseman, and it's going to find a gap there. That's going to plate Vayu. Wilfong rounds third, and he's going to hold up there. So Derek Smith is safe at first. The Gators have runners at the corners. And still nobody out. So 1-0 Gators. So Levi Howard up to bat now for the Gators. Smith's going to head to second. The throw down. That's going to be cut off again by the second baseman. So the Gators have runners at second and third. Ball high to Howard. 1-1 count. Howard hits it to the second baseman. Tanner, who scoots over and makes the play and throws it to Burdick for the out. So Wilfong is able to score on the play. Derek Smith advances to third base. So the Gators are up 2-0 in the top of the first. So the Gators will be the away team today. Hubbers will be the home team. This game was scheduled for Smethport, but due to field conditions, it was relocated to Rowlett. So that's going to bring up Tyler Philhart. Ball low to Philhart. Smith's going to hold up at third. So 1 out for the Gators. Philhart with a shot to center field. That is caught by Kirkman to throw to the plate. And Derek Smith's going to be in safe with a nice diving slide. That's going to make it 3-0 Gators. So an RBI fly out for Philhart. That's going to bring up Gavin Moses for the Gators. Ball high. So the bases are empty now. 2 outs for the Gators. Curveball high. 2-0 count. Moses fouls that out of play for strike 1. Curveball high for ball 3, 3-1 count. Moses with a shot to right field. And that's going to fall in front of the right fielder. Moses is going to head to second. And he's in with a double. So defensively for the Hubbers, Owen Roundsville on the mound, Ritz catching, Rykovsky at third, Swanson the shortstop, Tanner the second baseman, Cole Burdick the first baseman, Shields in left, Kirkman in center, and Hungaville in right. That's going to bring up Tate and Royce for the Gators. First pitch is a ball high. One out to Royce. Moses on second. And Royce pops that up to the third baseman, Rykovsky, and he's going to make the catch for out number 3. So as we head to the bottom of the first inning, it is Port Allegany 3, Smethport 0. Okay, we're back here in the bottom of the first inning. Port Allegany has taken the lead 3-0 over Smethport. Again, Smethport is going to be the home team today, even though the game is being played in Rowlett. So the Hubbers will get their chance to bat here in the first inning. Nick Wilfong is on the mound for the Gators. Nice bunt attempt. It's going to go foul. So for the Gators defensively, Wilfong's on the mound, Chase Boyd catching, Tyler Corinci at third, Kellen Vayu at short, Levi Howard at second, Tyler Philhart at first. We'll get the outfield here in just a second. Second pitch is a ball high. So in left is Garen Wright, center field Derek Smith, and right field Gavin Moses. Nice pitch by Wilfong for strike two. So the leadoff batter here for the Hubbers is Shields. He's got a 1-2 count. And that's strike three and a throw down to first. And the Gators are going to get the out. So one quick out for the Hubbers. So that's going to bring up the pitcher, Owen Roundsville. Wilfong's first pitch is just outside for ball one. 1-0. Ball low, 2-0 count. Nice little curveball by Wilfong. Gets in there for a strike, 2-1 count. Another curveball for strike two. Wilfong working pretty fast here. So 2-2 count. Back to the curveball again for strike three. So two quick outs now. So two outs for Smethport. That's going to bring up the catcher, Ritz. First pitch is a ball outside. Back to the curveball, just outside. 2-0 count. Strike. So 2-1 to Ritz. Another curveball for a strike. So 2-2 to Ritz. Ritz with a defensive swing fouls that out of play. So two outs for the Hubbers, 2-2 count. Back to the curveball just outside. That loads the count, 3-2. Catches the outside corner for strike three, so Nick Wilfong with a quick 1-2-3 inning. Only throws 16 pitches in that inning. So after one, it is Port Allegany 3, Smethport 0, and we'll be back for the top of the second inning. Okay, we're back for the top of the second inning. Port Allegany in the lead 3-0 over Smethport. And the leadoff batter for the Gators is going to be the third baseman, Tyler Quincy. Owen Roundsville on the mound for the Hubbers. Dominic Ritz, the catcher. Quincy with a shot to Rykowski, the third baseman. He knocks it down, the throw across the diamond, and he's going to get the out. So good job by Rykowski to stay with it. Good hit by Quincy. So the Gators have one man down, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Chase Boyd. Boyd takes the first pitch for a strike. The 0-1 to Boyd. Curveball outside, ball one. One and one count. Boyd smacks that down the third baseline, just foul. For strike two, 1-2 count. Inside to Boyd for ball two. 2-2. Boyd hits that between third and short, and he's going to be safe with a single. So one out, Boyd on first. That's going to bring up the leadoff batter, Kellen Vayu, for his second at-bat of the game. So Boyd gets a lead off first. Roundsville checks over. Vayu takes the first pitch inside. The throw down to second. It's off the mark. And Boyd is going to be safe at second. So the Gators have a runner in scoring position with one out. Ball low to Vayu. 2-0. Ball high to Vayu. 3-0. Gets the green light from Coach Vayu. So if there's anything in the zone, he'll be taking a swing at it. That's a ball outside for ball four. So Vayu takes a base on balls. He'll head to first. Boyd at second. That's going to bring up Nick Wolfong. First pitch is a ball just high for ball one. 1-0 count. So that's a called strike for a 1-1 count. Inside to Wolfong, hits that just out of the reach of the second baseman. Boyd had to hold up, but he's going to head to third, and he's in safely. So fortunate for the Gators, tough play there. Wolfong with a little flare to second and just out of the reach of Tanner. So that's going to load the bases. So only one man down, bases loaded. Derek Smith up to bat. First pitch is a called strike. 0-1 to Smith. Strike 2. So Roundsville quickly up 0-2 on Smith. That's going to be a ball just off the plate. 1-2 count. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So 2 outs now for the Gators. Levi Howard up to bat. Bases remain loaded. Gators were able to plate 3 in the first inning. Scoreless so far. Good opportunity. Howard hits that to third base. That scoots past the third baseman. That's going to score Boyd. Here comes Vayu. And the Gators have 2 more runs on the board. So a 5-0 lead now. Good hit by Howard. That's going to bring up Tyler Philhart. Inside and high to Philhart for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Ball high. 2-0. Wilfong takes off for third, the throw down, and Wilfong is safe under the tag. And Howard will advance from first to second, so the Gators have runners at second and third. 2 men in scoring position, 2 outs. Philhart up to bat, 3-0 count. Gets the green light from Coach Vayu. He fouls that out of play for strike 1. They hit somebody's car. So 3-1 to Philhart. Philhart pops that up to the infield. Cole Burdick comes over to make the play, and it's just out of his reach. So Wilfong scores from third. Philhart is safe at first, and the Gators have runners at the corners, first and third. So Howard advances to third. Philhart on first, and Gavin Moses up to bat for the Gators. So still 2 outs. Gators in the lead 6-0. Top of the second inning. Moses takes the first pitch for a strike. The 0-1 pitch. Philhart takes off for second. Moses with a hit to shortstop, and that's off his glove, and that's going to plate Howard. So with Philhart taking off for second, the shortstop was starting to come over to make the play at second, and it's hit right to him. So fortunate for the Gators, and they take a 7-0 lead. So Philhart on second, Moses on first, and Royce up to bat. First pitch is a ball high to Royce. So Roundsville at 45 pitches so far. Inside again to Royce. 2-0. Royce takes that for a strike. So it's now 2-1. Just off the plate for ball 3. 3-1 to Royce. Inside for ball 4, so that's going to load the bases. Phil Hart advances to third. Moses moves up to second, and Royce is now on first, and that is... Now we have Tyler Crincey up to bat. So, bases loaded, 2 outs. Gators in the lead 7-0. Crincey takes the first pitch for a strike. Crincey with a swing and a miss for strike 2. So Roundsville up 0-2 on Crincey. Gators will be running on any contact. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So I think that's 3 outs. So a little confusion on how many outs there were, but that's 3 outs. And to end the top of the second, the Gators are in the lead 7-0, so we'll be back for the bottom of the second for Smethport. Okay, so we're back for the bottom of the second inning. Port Allegany in the lead 7-0 over Smethport. We are live here from Rowlett. This is Kerry Hauver for the Gator Network. Wilfong's first pitch is a called strike. 0-1 count. Ball low, 1-1. So this is Zach Hungaville for the Hubbers. Swing and a miss for strike 2, 1-2 now. And another swing and a miss for strike 3. So 1 quick out for the Gators. Wilfong cruising along so far. So this is going to bring up Colin Rykovsky for the Hubbers. So 1 out. Ball just off the plate for ball 1. Swing and a miss for strike 1, 1-1. Nice little curveball by Wilfong. Curveball again, just off the plate. 2-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. 2-2 count. Rykowski hits that to the second baseman, Howard, who's...
Is that broken?
Wasn't able to see there. So he's not able to make the play. Rykowski is safe at first. And the bat broke on that play. So Rykowski is safe at first. Hubbers have one out. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Cole Burdick. Rykowski gets his lead. Wilfong checks over. Ball outside. 1-0 count. Ball low. 2-0. Same spot for ball 3. 3-0. The throw over. Rykowski's back safe. Wilfong with another throw over. Throws over again.
I want to put a tiger in my room one time.
Another throw over. Fouled back for strike 1. So now a 3-1 count to Burdick. One man down, the throw over. Almost got him that time, but Rykowski's able to slide in safely. That's going to be a ball outside, so Burdick has a base on balls. Rykowski advances to second, and the Hubbers have runners on first and second with one man down. So that's going to bring up Bo Kirkman for the Hubbers. First pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. Hit back to Wilfong. Throws it to Vayu for the out at second. And they're able to turn 2. Good scoop by Philhart for out number 3. So good job by Wilfong. Wilfong to Vayu to Philhart for out number 3. And the Gators remain in the lead 7-0 over Smethport, and we will be back for the top of the 3rd inning. Okay, we're back here in the top of the third inning. Port Allegany in the lead 7-0 over Smethport. Again, Smethport is the home team today. We are playing up in Rowlett. So the leadoff batter for the Gators is going to be Chase Boyd. First pitch is hit down the third baseline, out of play for strike one. So Roundsville is on the mound for the Hubbers. See if we can get the defense called here real quick. Inside and high for a ball. So we have Ritz catching, Rykovsky at third, Swanson at short, Tanner at second, Burdick at first. We'll get the outfield here in just a second. Just off the plate for ball two. So the Hubbers have Shields in left, Kirkman in center, and Hungaville in right. So it's a 1-1 count to Boyd. Boyd hits that to third base. That's just out of his reach. And the Gators have a runner on first for the start of the inning. So that's going to bring up the top of the order. Kellen Vayu is going to bat for the third time.
No, I knew she was off, but I'm off. Well, I'm in the building, but not in there. So it'll be the two Baileys.
So the first pitch is a ball outside, the throw down to second, and Boyd is in safely. So the Gators have a runner in scoring position, nobody out. The leadoff batter, Kellen Vayu. So a 1-0 count to Vayu. Ball high for ball two. Vayu hits that to left field. I think it's going to drop. That's going to drop. Boyd's going to head for third. Coach Vayu's going to send him around third. So Boyd is going to be safe, and Vayu is going to be safe at third with a triple. So good shot by Kellen Vayu, drives in Boyd, and the Gators are now up 8-0. So that will bring up Nick Wilfong, the pitcher. Wilfong hits that fly ball to second base, probably not deep enough for Vayu, but he's going to at least initiate a throw. Good throw into home. So Vayu's going to have to remain at third. So that's going to bring up the number 3 batter, Derek Smith. So Vayu on third. One man down, Smith up to bat. Smith rockets that down the third baseline, out of play for strike one. So Roundsville's at 61 pitches so far on the day. Smith hits that to the same spot, out of play. So good power by Smith. We'll see if he can straighten one out here. The 0-2 to Smith upcoming. And he fouls that one out of play. So it remains an 0-2 count. Good battle here between Roundsville and Smith. Derek Smith threw a gem the other night against Coudersport, a no-hitter. Curveball that Smith's able to foul out of play. So the Gators defeated the Coudersport Falcons the other day to capture the Northern Allegany Conference. So the Port Allegany Gators are the 2025 league champions. Smith fouls that one out of play. So the battle continues. So Port Allegany is in the lead 8-0. We are in the top of the third. Roundsville checks the signs. That's going to be a ball outside. Vayu's going to think about it, but he's going to hold up at third. Good job by Ritz to quickly go after the ball and keep Vayu on third. And Smith hits that out of play. So we've had 4 or 5 foul balls here in this at-bat.
It's not mine this time.
So 1 man out. Inside and high for ball 2. 2-2 now. Smith fouls that out of play. So that's the 5th or 6th foul ball. Swing and a miss, so great battle between Smith and Roundsville. Smith tips his helmet to Roundsville, and that's going to be out number 2 for the Gators, and that's going to bring up Levi Howard. So Vayu on third, Howard up to bat. Howard fouls that back.
There you go, Levi. Good cut. Go to the fence, but let's go.
So Roundsville at 72 pitches on the day so far. Ball high, 1-1. Howard hits that in between third and short, and that's going to plate Vayu for run number 9. Good RBI single for Howard. That's going to bring up Tyler Philhart. So 9-0 Port Allegany over Smethport. Top of the third, 2 outs. Howard on first. Philhart up to bat. That is rocketed right back at Roundsville. That's going to advance Howard to second. Howard's going to round second, head for third. The relay is not in time. So kind of an awkward slide for Howard, but he is safe. So the Gators have runners at first and third. Good shot by Philhart right at Roundsville. Good relay by the Hubbers. So the Gators have runners at first and third. Gavin Moses up to bat, 2 outs. Ball high to Moses. Philhart's going to head to second, so the Gators have runners at second and third. Moses hits that to the second baseman. He scoops and throws over to Burdick for out number 3. So as we head to the bottom of the third inning, Port Allegany's in the lead 9-0. We'll be back after a short break. Okay, so we're back here in the bottom of the third inning. Port Allegany in the lead, 9-0 over Smethport. So it'll be the Hubbers' chance to bat in the bottom of the third. So we have Nick Wilfong on the mound for the Gators. Boyd catching. Crincy at third, Vayu at short, Howard at second, Phil Hart at first, right and left, Smith in center, and Moses in right. Tate and Royce is the DH. First pitch is hit out of play for strike one. So we have Tanner up to bat for the Hubbers. Wilfong at only 33 pitches on the day. Nice little curveball by Wilfong for strike two. So Wilfong is quickly up 0-2 on Tanner. Another curveball catches the inside corner for strike three and out number one. So that's going to bring up the shortstop, Mason Swanson. First pitch is a ball low. The 1-0 to Swanson. Another curveball from Wilfong, sorry. So 1-1 count. Back to the curveball again. Swanson fouls that out of play. So Wilfong's up 1-2. 1 out. Been a lot of foul balls today. Pretty good crowd here in Rowlett.
I hope they get your car.
And that's going to be a ball high to Swanson. 2-2 now.
Well, if the back was broke, it's a lot more comfortable driving down the road because there you go.
That's going to be a ball low. So that loads the count. 3-2. Back to the curveball again for strike three. So good job by Wilfong to get out number two. I think we're back to the top of the order for the Hubbers.
Got the green light.
So the left fielder Shields. First pitch is a ball high, 1-0 count. Back to the curve, why not? Strike one, 1-1. Tough pitch for a batter to handle. Looks like it's coming at you, then it bends right around. Swing and a miss for strike two. Just misses the inside corner. So 2-2 now. Wilfong working pretty fast here. Catches the outside corner for strike three. So 3 quick outs for the Gators. And after 3, Port Allegany in the lead, 9-0 over Smethport, and we'll be back for the top of the fourth. Okay, so we're back here for the top of the fourth inning. Port Allegany in the lead 9-0 over Smethport. The leadoff batter for the Gators is Tate Royce, the designated hitter. So Owen Roundsville is the pitcher for Smethport. Royce takes the first pitch for a strike. The 0-1 to Royce. Takes that for a strike, so 0-2 now. Roundsville sits at 78 pitches so far. Royce flares that just over the first baseman's head, but the second baseman Tanner is able to track it down for out number 1. So good job by Tanner to cover some ground there and get the out. That's going to bring up the third baseman Tyler Crincy. Crincy fouls that back for strike 1. So 1 out, 0-1 count to Crincy. Crincy fouls that back for strike 2. So Roundsville's quickly up 0-2.
They just got a low battery announcement here.
Crincy powers that to the shortstop, fielded by Swanson over across the diamond to Burdick for the out. It's a good play by the Hubbers for out number 2. And that's going to bring up Chase Boyd, the catcher. Boyd hits that to left field. And the left fielder Shields is able to track that down, so the Hubbers are able to have a 1-2-3 inning, and we head to the bottom of the fourth with Port Allegany in the lead 9-0. Okay, we're back here for the bottom of the fourth inning. One and one count now on Roundsville. Curveball by Wilfong, low. 2-1. Ball high, 3-1 count. And a ball low for ball 4. So the Hubbers have their leadoff batter on base. So that's going to bring up the catcher, Ritz, with Roundsville on first. So nobody out.
There are you guys.
Roundsville heads to second, skips past Boyd, the catcher, and Roundsville's going to be safe at second with a stolen base. So the Hubbers have their leadoff batter in scoring position. Ritz up to bat. That's another ball low. So 2-0 to Ritz. Wilfong at only 52 pitches on the day. Little pickoff move at second. That's a hit by Ritz into center, and Smith misplays it. That's going to go over his head. That's going to plate Roundsville, and Ritz is in with a stand-up double. So the Hubbers are on the board now. Port Allegany in the lead, 9-1. So that's going to bring up Zach Hungaville for the Hubbers. He slaps that to the shortstop, Vayu, who makes the play across the diamond. And he's safe. So good hustle play by Hungaville. Tough play for Vayu. I think Vayu had cheated over to second to try to hold Ritz. And then Hungaville's hit ends up at shortstop. So the Hubbers have runners at the corners, first and third. Still nobody out. So Wilfong's going to throw over to first and check on Hungaville. So that's going to bring up the third baseman, Colin Rykovsky. He's showing bunt. He's going to pull back. So Wilfong's going to check over on Hungaville again. So a 1-0 count to Rykovsky. Runners at the corners. Hungaville looks like he's ready to head for second. Step off move. I think it hit Hungaville. Throw down from Boyd. I think that hit Hungaville. So a tough day for him, but he is safe with a stolen base. So the Hubbers have runners at second and third, 2 men in scoring position and nobody out, so a good opportunity for the Hubbers. Swing and a miss by Rykovsky, so that makes it 1-2. Just outside for ball 2, 2-2 count. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And Wilfong is able to battle back. get the first out of the inning. So that's going to bring up the first baseman, Cole Burdick. So runners at second and third, one out. Burdick up to bat. First pitch is a ball outside. Skips past the catcher. So 1-0 count. Nice pitch by Will Fong for strike one. 1-1 on Burdick. Nice curveball by Will Fong for strike two. Back to the curveball, and Burdick slaps that into center. That's going to plate Ritz. Hungaville advances to third, and an RBI single for Cole Burdick. So the Hubbers are in business. 2 runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So runners at the corners. Bo Kirkman up to bat for the Hubbers. Only 1 out. Will Fong checks over on Burdick. First pitch is a ball low. He's going to throw over. So the Gators' next game is going to be on Tuesday versus Coudersport at home in the first round of the playoffs. So Wilfong does a good job of making sure when there's runners at the corners, it's a swing and a miss, that he makes sure the guy on first doesn't get a good, comfortable lead and head for second. So it's a 1-1 count to Kirkman. That's going to be strike 2. 1-2. Back to the curveball again. Why not? Strike 3. So 2 outs now. So the Hubbers still have runners at the corners. Burdick on first, Hungaville on third, Tanner up to bat. Wilfong throws over to check on Burdick. Burdick's going to head for second. That's a ball low. So Burdick advances to second. Hungaville on third. 2 men down. Swing and a miss by Tanner. Good pitch by Wilfong. So 1-1 now to Tanner. Back to the curveball, and Tanner slaps that out of play. So the count sits at 1-2. Back to the curveball for strike 3. So the Smethport Hubbers are able to plate 2, but after 4, Port Allegany in the lead, 9-2. We'll be back after a short break for the top of the 5th. Okay, we're back here for the top of the 5th inning. Port Allegany in the lead, 9-2 over Smethport. The leadoff batter up for the Gators, Kellen Vayu. So Owen Roundsville remains on the mound for the Hubbers. Vayu rockets that to center. And that's going to sail over Kirkman's head. And Vayu's going to be in with a stand-up double. So good shot by Vayu. So the Gators have the leadoff batter on again. That's going to bring up the pitcher, Nick Wilfong. So far, Roundsville's at 86 pitches on the day. First pitch is a ball low, skips past the catcher. Vayu's going to head for third, but hold up. So Vayu remains at second. It's going to be a 1-0 count to Wilfong. Ball high for ball 2. Wilfong takes that for a ball. So 3-0 count to Wilfong. He checks down to Coach Vayu to see if he's got the red light or the green light. Coach hollers out green, so Wilfong will be looking for one in the zone. Catches the inside corner for strike 1. 3-1 count now on Wilfong. Nobody out. Runner on second. That's going to be inside and high to Wilfong. And Vayu smartly heads to third. So in the mix of Wilfong taking a base on balls, Wilfong advances from second to third, so the Gators have runners at the corners, first and third.
Come on, drive one here, pal.
Wilfong on first, Vayu on third. The number 3 batter, Derek Smith, up to bat. Wilfong's going to head to second, and Smith fouls that out of play. So last at bat, Smith fouled about 5 or 6 out of play.
There you go, just drive one.
Ultimately struck out, but it was a great battle between he and Roundsville. Takes that for a strike on the outside corner, but Wilfong is able to safely advance to second. So the Gators have runners at second and third. Inside. So 1-2 to Smith. Smith fouls that down the third baseline. Touched foul by Rakovsky. Last time we played at this field against Otto Elder, there was a play that I think Crincy hit it, and it rolled down the third baseline and rolled fair. He wasn't expecting it. So Smith is up with a 1-2 count.
Come on, pal, drive one.
Nobody out. Runners on second and third. Smith with a shot to center. Kirkman's going to camp out underneath, make the out, but Vayu's got plenty of room to score from third. Wilfong smartly advances from second to third. So the Gators have 1 out, and they now have a 10-2 lead. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Levi Howard. Howard with a shot to left field. That is deep. And it is out of here. What a shot by Levi Howard. I was holding my breath to see what the umpire called, and we got the signal that that's out of here. So congratulations to Levi Howard. Home run. And his teammates will meet him at home plate. Heck of a shot there by Howard.
Thank you, guys.
So, great play by Levi Howard, and that makes the score 12-2 Port Allegany. 1 out, and Tyler Philhart up to bat. He's going to foul that back for strike one. So it's an 0-1 count to Philhart. It's going to be a ball low, so that is the 98th pitch for Roundsville, so he's running out of pitches. Philhart takes that high for ball 2. So a 2-1 count to Philhart. Takes that for a ball low, 3-1 now. Philhart with a rocket in between left and center. That's going to drop. Philhart rounds first. He's going to be in with a stand-up double.
Nice job.
So a home run by Levi Howard and then a stand-up double by Tyler Philhart. So the Gators are hitting this inning. So that's going to bring up the right fielder, Gavin Moses. So I think Roundsville is out of pitches. So we're going to have a pitching change. We'll be back after a short break. Okay, we're back to resume the top of the 5th inning. Port Allegany in the lead 12-2 over Smethport. Levi Howard just hit his first home run of the season. Tyler Philhart followed that up with a double. So we have a pitching change. Roundsville is out. Zach Hungaville is in. So where does Roundsville head? He headed to shortstop. That moves Swanson over to second. That's going to be a ball low to Moses, so 2-0 count. So Tanner, who was at second, moves out to right, so a little shuffling of the deck for the Hubbers. Just off the corner for ball 3. So 3-0 count to Moses. Philhart on second, 1 out. Moses slaps that out of play for strike 1. So we want to thank the Gator fans for tuning into the Gator Network. Thank the Hubbard fans for tuning in, and anybody else that wanted to watch some baseball today. That's going to hit Moses in the foot. So he's going to take first with a hit by pitch, and that is going to bring up Garen Wright. Garen is in left field today, using the famous pencil bat. So the Gators have runners on first and second, 1 out. Hungaville on the mound for the Hubbers. Ritz catching. Catches the inside corner, so defensively after the changes, Rykovsky remains at third, Roundsville moved to short, Swanson moved to second, Cole Burdick remains at first, and we'll get the outfield here in just a second. Wright fouls that out of play, so in left is Shields, Kirkman remains in center, and Tanner slid from second to right. So Garen Wright up to bat for the Gators. Hungaville checks the signs. That's a ball high. So 1-2 according to the umpire. Wright fouls that out of play. So good battle here between Wright and Hungaville.
Stay with it.
Wright fouls that back. Nice curveball by Hungaville. That sails over the catcher's head. Phil Hart's going to head for third. The throw is off the mark. Here comes Phil Hart. He's going to score, and that's going to be 13-2. So Gavin Moses advances from first to second. Hubbers are going to have the last bats of the day. This game was originally scheduled in Smethport, moved to Rowlett due to field conditions. That's going to be a ball high. So good at bat here for Garen Wright. Works it back into a full count. And Wright powers that. Just foul.
Way to battle, way to battle.
Thought maybe that was going to drop in right field. So the Gators have an 11-run lead now. The Hubbers will get their chance to counter in the bottom of the fifth. They're going to need to plate at least two to keep this game going. That's going to be inside to Wright, so good battle between Wright and Hungaville, and he earns himself a walk. So runners on first and second. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Tyler Crincy. Still one man down. Inside to Crincy for ball one. 1-0 count. Crincy fouls that back for strike one, so 1-1 count now.
It tings up in the air, and the catcher catches it.
Yep, I've seen that.
That's going to be a ball high to Crincy, 2-1 now. See if the Gators can extend their lead, create a little breathing room here heading into the bottom of the fifth. It's going to be a curveball in the dirt. Moses is going to head to third. Wright stays at first. So runners at the corners, first and third, one out. Crincy up to bat. That is ball four. So that loads the bases. Moses on third, Wright on second, Crincy on first, and the catcher, Chase Boyd, up to bat. So still only one man out. Good opportunity for the Gators. first pitch is a ball low. 1-0 count.
Just me. I'm trying to figure out your score in there. What do you? I guess scoreboard's not on.
Inside to Boyd. 2-0 count. Catches the inside corner for strike one. 2-1 now to Boyd. That's going to be a ball high for ball three. 3-1 count. Boyd fouls that out of play, so that's going to load the count. 3-2. Boyd hits that down the third baseline. That kicks off of Rykovsky's glove. That's going to plate Moses. Wright is safe at third. Crincy safe at second. And Boyd is in at first. So the bases remain loaded. 1 out. Gators extend their lead. 13-2 now. Or 14-2, sorry. Once again, the leadoff batter, Kellen Vayu, up to bat.
Here we go, Cal.
Come on, Cal. Loaded for you, bud.
Takes that for a ball inside, 1-0. Vayu fouls that out of play for strike one. 1-1 count. Vayu with a rocket in between center and right. That's going to plate Garen Wright. Crincy stumbles around third, so he's going to remain at third. So an RBI single for Vayu makes it 15-2 Gators. So a couple insurance runs here heading into the bottom of the fifth, where the Hubbers will have their chance to try to keep this under 10. So Nick Wilfong up to bat now. Wilfong takes the first pitch inside and low. One 1-0 count. Nice curveball by Hungaville. Strike one, 1-1. So Crincy on third, Boyd on second, Vayu on first. Wilfong up to bat. Swing and a miss by Wilfong. Good location by Hungaville inside. Would have caught the inside corner, I think. So 1-2 to Wilfong. Wilfong flares that back to the pitcher. That's going to be an infield fly. That's going to be out number 2. Now the number 3 batter, Derek Smith, the center fielder. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Smith pops that up. I think it's out of play. Nope. Stays in the ballpark, and Cole Burdick makes the play for out number 3. But the Gators are able to extend their lead to 15-2. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th inning. Smethport has to score at least 4 to keep this game going. Okay, so we're back here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Port Allegany in the lead 15-2 over Smethport. We have a pitching change. Kellen Vayu in for Nick Wilfong. Defensively, Boyd remains as the catcher. Tyler Crinsey heads to first. Phil Hart heads over across the diamond, trades him places. He's at third. Wilfong goes from pitcher to short. Levi Howard remains at second. As Luck checks in and left. Derek Smith remains in center. And Mason Gordon in right field. So the batter is Himes for Smethport. Vayu's first two pitches are balls, so it's a 2-0 count. Catches the outside corner for strike one. 2-1 count to Himes. Himes fouls that out of play for strike two. I think that's the third vehicle that's been hit by foul balls, so tough luck for the vehicles today. 2-2. Curveball by Vayu, hit to Wilfong across the diamond, and Crinsey makes the catch for out number one. So Smethport back at the top of the order. One man down, and that's going to be the left fielder Shields up to bat. Nice curveball for strike one. Both Wilfong and Vayu and Smith the other night have really good curveballs. Another curveball fouled out of play. So once again, the Gators were able to defeat the Coudersport Falcons the other night to capture the league title. They will have a rematch in the playoffs on Tuesday. Curveball outside for ball one. 1-2 count. One out. Smethport has to plate at least four. After 4 innings, if you're in the lead by 10 runs, it's a victory. So just misses the outside corner. So 2-2 now to Shields. Nice curveball by Vayu for strike three. So 2 quick outs for the Hubbers. That's going to bring up Owen Roundsville to try to keep this game going. Curveball low for ball one. So pretty good crowd here in Rowlett. Thank the Gator fans for showing up for this team. Roundsville fouls that out of play, so 1-1 to Roundsville. So the Gators, I think, are 14-2 on the year, league champions. Just misses the outside corner for ball two. 2-1 count. So the Gators 2 losses on the year to Elk County Catholic. Just misses the outside corner again, so 3-1 count. So the Gators, once again, will play Coudersport on Tuesday. The victor will play DuBois Central Catholic. Misses again, so ball 4 to Roundsville. He'll head to first. In the lower part of the bracket, it'll be Clarion and Elk County Catholic. So pretty tough road throughout the district, but that's what you expect. A lot of good baseball teams in the district. So 2 outs for Smethport. That's going to bring up the catcher, Ritz. Vayu checks the signs, checks over on Roundsville. Roundsville heads for second. Boyd hesitated for a second, so Roundsville's in safe, so the Hubbers have a runner in scoring position. Just inside to Ritz. So 1-1 count. Ritz pops that up. Crincy and Howard head for it. And Howard is able to make the grab for out number 3. So Port Allegany is victorious 15-2 over Smethport. We thank the Gator fans for tuning in, thank the Hubber fans for tuning in, and everybody else that was able to watch. We will be back on Tuesday.
Good job, Corey.
For the opening round of the district playoffs as Port Allegany hosts Coudersport. It'll be the third time Port Allegany and Coudersport have played. The winner advances and plays DuBois Central Catholic. So thank you for tuning in. This is Kerry Hauber for the Gator Network, and we will see you on Tuesday.